All right, let's talk a little bit about horse racing this weekend. New Jersey's Monmouth Park hosts the 24th Breeders' Cup. We welcome in legendary turf rider John Pricci, courtesy of ExpressBet.com. John, very glad to have you with us. The Breeders' Cup, of course, rotates to different tracks around the continent from year to year. It was here at Arlington Park in '02. First time, though, that it's been to Monmouth. Does each host locale make the event different from year to year?
Well, maybe for the riders perhaps, but how it works is that the venue goes to the Breeders' Cup. They get together with their Chamber of Commerce. They make their pitch, and if they get to host the event, you have to know one thing: it's the Breeders' Cup's show.
Is Monmouth Park unusual or different as a track, perhaps, than some of the others on which the trainers are used to getting their horses ready for?
Yeah, it is a little bit different. For the first time in my memory, we're going to be running races in the fall at Monmouth Park. This is a summer track, a destination track, a resort track. It has a speed favoring configuration, but that's how it works in the summertime. How it's going to play in the fall, that could be a little problematical, but they did have racing over it today. They'll race Thursday, the first Breeders' Cup day. We've got a two-day Breeders' Cup this year. That'll be Friday for 3 races, and of course, the big day, 8 big races on Saturday, plus 3 others.
What is the forecast for the weekend, and how will that change things, and who becomes a favorite if it is, messy?
Good question. The forecast is for lousy weather, followed by continued lousy weather. We thought maybe that there was a chance that there was a window we could get in here, but the latest information I have calls for showers today, tonight, tomorrow, the next day, and hopefully they talked about clearing late Saturday or Sunday. Maybe we can get lucky. I hope it will. How will it affect everyone? As far as the handicappers and their preparation is concerned, they've got to be prepared to go in a different direction. The horses, however, have had most of their training done already. So it's just a matter of whether they're going to handle the track or not. That'll be for everyone to be concerned about. But there are certain horses who will move up on a wet track. But every time we try to handicap for a wet track, we get a little confused. So we're just going to try to play it straight and see what happens on Saturday.
Well, what I love about this from a handicapper's perspective is that there are so many great races on one slate. And the Classic always gets the most attention, but I learned, I don't know, 15 years ago to pay attention to the whole day because there was a colt named Arasi who electrified me when he won the juvenile. So the question, of course, is what should we be watching for on the undercard this year?
Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Classic because we've been talking about Horse of the Year and sensational 3-year-olds. But as far as the other races are concerned, obviously you want to look at the juvenile because the best thing about them is that on January 1 they turn 3, and there's a little local interest here in terms of Chicago. There's an undefeated horse by the name of Wicked Style. He won his first 2 races at Arlington Park with you guys. Then he shipped to Keeneland and promptly won a major stakes down there, grade 1, and now he comes in undefeated. He's hurt a little bit by the draw, but you need to watch that race. In the Philly Distaff, there's a 3-year-old by the name of Nashoba's Key, who is undefeated in 7 lifetime starts, 4 on turf and 3 on the dirt, and she'll be in the Philly and Mare turf, so it'll be interesting for her to see, and she'll be ridden by a 17-year-old phenom by the name of Joe Talamo. So there are a lot of interesting things on the undercard, as you suggest, and of course, a horse who's rated the best horse in the world by the International Panel of Handicappers, and that's the winner of the Arc de Triomphe, Dylan Thomas, who is the shortest priced early line favorite set by Brad Thomas yesterday. He's the 7-5 favorite to win the turf. So there's a lot of things to look at on Saturday.
Hi, John. Paul Sullivan from the Tribune.
Paul?
I'm not an expert on this or by any means, but when a horse goes to stud, I see Street Sense is going to stud after this race. What is the purpose of that? I know the purpose of it, but why do they do it so quickly and not let them win some more money and more stakes?
Well, some people are not going to like to hear what I'm about to say, but it seems like thoroughbred racing now is all about the breeding business, and the racing itself is sort of a marketing tool for the breeders. You mentioned Street Sense. Well, Hard Spun, another 3-year-old, the horse that finished second to him in the Kentucky Derby, he's going to stud. Any given Saturday, a 3-year-old who won the Haskell, he's going to stud. And Darley Farm, that's Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai, he bought the breeding rights to all 3 of them for over $100 million. I mean, that would be the entire package. And what they're interested in is getting these horses out to stud quickly. These sires cover a lot more mares than they used to, and that's where the money is.
We should all be so lucky, right? Well, you mentioned a lot of horses
correct.
with whom the layman is familiar. Street Sense, any given Saturday. Tiago's in it. Curlin was in the Triple Crown as well. And it's easy for us to fall in love with reputation, but of course, how they're running now is very different from how they ran earlier in the year. Who is running well now, and who do you forecast as, where are you going, I should ask, with your picks for this classic race?
Well, you know, you make a great point there. These performance figures, these Equiform figures I look at out of New York, pretty sophisticated stuff, and 5 major horses in the Classic, 4 of them being 3-year-olds, and the leading older horse in the country, Lawyer Ron, figure within less than 3 lengths of each other, which means this is going to be a rider's race, a race where racing luck will have a lot to say about the outcome, but you've got to jump off the fence at some point. I had it narrowed down to 2 horses, the 4-year-old Lawyer Ron and Street Sense, and I didn't know where I was going to go until yesterday. Street Sense had a workout at Monmouth Park that was nothing less than sensational, not in terms of a fast time, because good works aren't about how fast you do it, it's how you do it fast. And this horse closed with a flourish. Calvin Burrell never moved his hands. He came home in, I think, under 23 seconds for the final quarter of a mile. He galloped out a strong 7 furlongs in 125. Most horses can't even run in 125. Galloped out again, what's called a double gallop out, a mile in about 139. And when he came back, he put the cherry on the cake by saying, you know, I think this horse handled this track as well as he handled Churchill Downs. And he is undefeated at Churchill Downs. He won the Breeders' Cup last year, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and the championship. And of course, he became the first juvenile winner to repeat in the Kentucky Derby the following year, which was earlier this spring. So if he's handling this track the way he handled Churchill Downs, that's going to be good enough for me. And the price will be okay, too. He's a co-second choice at 3-1. I don't think he'll be a lot lower than that, given that the competition is so deep.
And run off into the studding sunset, as it were. John, thank you so much for the vernacular and the knowledge. We really enjoyed it. John Pricci, enjoy your weekend at the Breeders' Cup at Monmouth Park.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
Thanks for being with us. All right, in addition to the horse race, we had a great weekend coming in